Hi everyone, welcome to the second Devblog video about my upcoming Penguin game. In this video I'd like to show you how the new Penguin team system works and how easy it is to add unique penguins of different tiers. So first thing I had to do was an inventory system. You'll have 5 inventory slots that you can unlock in the shop. Next to it is another inventory grid that will have all the penguins that are currently in the game. You can equip a penguin by clicking on it and then clicking on the desired slot and then the equip button. As I said, penguins will be of different tiers, however the way the system is made allows me to implement in minutes penguins of diverse complexities, starting from very easy ones that just increase one of your stats and ending with pretty complex ones that will assist you in attacking the enemies. Also, just a quick fact, for the demo we're planning on having about 10 penguins, and since there are 5 inventory slots, that allows for 2002 unique combinations. Okay, so the very first thing that you might notice is that the game is now in portrait mode instead of landscape, and personally I think it looks way better now than it used to before. I also optimized all the UI elements so they all look fairly decent with the new portrait mode. And the more important thing is that I started working on the penguin system and it's working fine and it's almost done basically. Here we can open the inventory and here we can see the current penguins that are in game. I created 2 penguins of tier 0, which is going to be the first tier, the weakest one. And then I created a penguin of tier 4. And that's just to show you how easily I can implement completely different penguins. So this penguin basically increases attack damage by 5%. This one increases defense by 5%. Well, this one heals 5 HP every 5 seconds. So let's see how that works. We can click here and equip, and since we have only one of it, we can equip the same penguin on 2 slots. However, if we, for example, have 2 of them, we can still equip here the second penguin, but we don't need that for now, we're just gonna do that. Let's see how that works in game. We can see that damage increase, and if we pay attention, we can see that every second we're getting healed by 5 HP. So that works. Okay, so in order to show you how easy it is to implement new penguins, I'm gonna do that right now. So first what we have to do is create a new C# script. We'll call it penguin T0 HP for example, because what this penguin is gonna do is increase our HP by 50. So first thing, we inherit from the penguins class, and what the penguins class does is fairly easy. It's just an abstract class that holds an integer for the penguin's ID, which is a different number for every type of penguins. Then here is the penguin tier, also the sprite that is being displayed in every UI element such as inventory slots, and then the sprite that is going to be displayed on level. Also here we have an integer that shows how many penguins of that kind you have and how many of them you have equipped, and then a float, which is basically the magnitude of your buff. And then the main thing happens here. We have a method called usePenguinSkill, which is being called whenever the level loads. So it will be called for every class that inherits the penguins class, and the main magic happens here. So if we'll go to look at the penguin that increases our attack by 5%, we'll see that it's changing the stats from within this method. And if we'll go to the repair penguin, we'll see that here we can invoke repeat any kind of method, thus allowing for any kind of behavior. So let's now start working on our penguin. It's pretty easy, all we need to do is just copy that, we paste it here, then we change the ID to a different one, so 0, 1 and 2 is used, so we have to use 3, then let's say I want to add 50 HP. Well, for now I'm gonna use the same sprite because I don't have a temporary image for this one, but you can see how easy it is to change that. So we won't need that, however we will need to do some changes here. So what we're doing here is incrementing the maximum HP by the buff amount, which is 50, and then we're setting the current HP to the maximum HP, because that will be called at the beginning of the level, so it makes sense to do that. We're almost done now. We have to do 2 more things. Let's go first to the entrance menu scene, and here we have the penguin manager object, and here we'll simply copy this one and paste it. We'll rename it to tier 0 HP. And now that we've created it, we have to remove this script and add the newly created one. Here the ID is going to be 3, tier is going to be 0, UI sprite whatever, and we don't really care about that, but we can put it as 50 just in case. And we're done. We need to add it to the inventory system, so we go to location, incubator, inventory windows, we turn those on, and it's also very easy to do that. We just take any existing one, we copy it, we change the index to the according ID, and here we can set the name. Let's say his name is going to be Gunter, and increases HP by 50. That's the description. I have a class called super variables, and here whenever I'm adding a new penguin, I have to increment this number by 1. What this class does is basically it keeps track of all the important variables that are within the game. And here I also handle all the important methods like loading and saving the game. Okay, so now in theory everything should be working. Let's try that. Let's add 2 of those penguins. Okay, and okay, and as you can see, we have 200 HP instead of 100. Well, that's about it for this video. If you found this video interesting, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. You can find the links to my previous projects in the description below. See you next Monday.